See, it is 23 minutes to 7. This segment is brought to you by Fisher Funds, KiwiSaver. Most New Zealanders are aware of our country's retirement savings scheme, but don't know how to maximise their savings. A study released in 2022 showed that just over 1 million of us lost out on over $400 million from the government due to not knowing the details. Well, here to discuss is Fisher Funds Wealth Advisor Lead, Laura O'Reilly. Good morning, Laura. Thank you for being with us this morning. Can you explain to us the government's contribution and whether and how you know that you're actually getting it?
Yeah, of course. So if you're eligible, the government contribution is one of the really big perks of being in KiwiSaver. What it means is that for every dollar that you invest, the government will contribute 50 cents. Now, there is a cap on that, and it's around $521. So to get that, you just need to make sure you've invested around $1,043 by the end of the KiwiSaver year, which is the end of June.
Right.
And I know that $521 maybe doesn't seem like a huge amount of money in the context of everything you'd need for retirement. But actually, the impact of investing early, small amounts, can make a huge difference because what you'll get is those returns compounding over time. So it is still worth looking at. If you don't know whether or not you've contributed enough to get that maximum government contribution, the best thing to do is check in with your KiwiSaver provider because they'll have a log. And they can also help you if you've got any questions around whether or not you've been doing the right thing. But failing that, you can also check in with your My IRD account online because that will have a log of what you've contributed as well.
Yeah, so that was actually, this is a really good question because I know that this is an issue in our house with our big girl and also my husband as well in terms of trying to find your KiwiSaver. Yeah. So those are the best two places to go to, your provider and what was the other one?
My IRD. Right. Yeah, it's actually really common. You're not alone if you don't quite know where your KiwiSaver is or even if you've maybe got one. So if that's you, then just log on to My IRD because there's actually a KiwiSaver section and that will say who your scheme provider is.
Now, initially you were talking about a deadline in June, so you have to have had enough of your contributions going into your KiwiSaver before you can get the government's added bit, or add on, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. So that deadline is the end of June. Right. You just need to have contributed at least $1,043 to get that maximum government contribution. If you can't quite spare that amount, maybe you're not working or you're only working part-time, then do consider what you could potentially spare because even if you only invest $500, for example, into your KiwiSaver, the government's still going to match you 50 cents on the dollar, so that's a 50% return immediately, which is pretty good.
You know, when you look at KiwiSaver, you know, it's little contributions over time. But it's that little bit over a long period of time where we get our benefits, right? Yeah,
that's right. And I mean, if you think about it, if you got that maximum government contribution over 10 years, that's still more than $5,000. So those little bits do add up. And time is your best friend when it comes to investing.
Okay, so just to wrap things up, tell me again about the contributions and also the date.
Yes, so just to recap, if you're not sure what you've been doing so far this KiwiSaver year, double check with your KiwiSaver provider or My IRD. To get that maximum $521 from the government, invest around $1,043 before the end of June.
Beautiful. Laura O'Reilly joining us from Fisher Funds Wealth Advisor Lead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Being Tony Mai, stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.